So this next session is going to kind of show you what comes about from the previous session that we did in Ripen. So then Ripen, I kind of showed you the behind the scenes of how to quickly get to building out a prompt and then using that prompt in a tool like Chip or any other AI tool. Now I'm going to show you maybe one that's a little bit more refined. It's not the back end, but it really is the end result of what one of these tools could be. If you've been around me a very long time and you've talked to me a lot, you'll know that like one of my core convictions is that our biggest problem in the world is lostness. I always say that because we get confused. We can easily see of our need to help people with money or with food or with health. And those are very important. But at the core of the problem that people are facing, it's lostness. And so one of the tools that we created was to, just like in the previous session where we trained a chatbot for a Kenyan moving to work with another country, we've created a chatbot called Engage Lostness. And this chatbot is designed specifically for any Christian to be able to practice sharing their faith in another culture or even in your own culture. And so I want to show you very briefly how to interact with Engage Lostness. So the link will be on the screen for this chatbot. So this will take you to a chatbot called Engage Lostness. And it's a whole series of chatbots that we've created for different worldviews. And we intend on adding to the worldviews you'll see presented here. You'll find the link to the Engage Lostness chatbot in the video. Let's play around with this a little bit. I'm really happy with how we've come about building this particular chatbot. So the first thing it'll do is going to ask you questions about the particular worldview you're trying to engage with. It's so cool. I'll tell you a little history about why I did this chatbot is we were doing a training for new missionaries who were working in animistic worldviews, in tribal and animism. And several of them were like, wow, how hard can it be? I can talk to them. I know how to show them the 4 spiritual laws or the 3 circles or whatever it is that they were using to share their faith. And whenever they were trying to share, I kept saying, that's not going to work with these animists. And so we created this chatbot for animism that will push back as an animist. And even more importantly, it will explain to them, when you show me the 3 circles, this is what I, as an animist, see. And it was a little eye-opening. So this is a really cool chatbot. You can click the link or go to the link on the video, and you can see these are the worldviews that are currently in there. So you can also do engage generations. So that was number 9. And then in the generations, it should give us different options. So let's just take Gen Z. And it works just like the chatbot that we built for the Kenyan working in other cultures. But this one is built with a little bit more robust. It's a little more robust because we've spent a lot more time on the prompt. And so what you can do is you can either understand their worldview of God and church and spirituality. You can practice sharing your faith, or you can break down misconceptions about Christianity. And so one, you can understand their worldview. So you're not Gen Z and you have no idea what they believe. And these are the questions that Gen Zs typically have. These are the things they value. You can say, show me some sample questions a Gen Z may have about faith. And these are just pulling straight from our prompting that we created to create this set of series. So I hope you see that AI is not just the things that you see, and it's not just things that people use to make homework easier or to write an email or to do something else in life. Hope you see that you can use these chatbots. You can use these tools like Engage Lostness, like FaithBot that we showed in another series. These tools can be very powerful for helping people understand more about Christianity. It also can be helpful for Christians to use these tools to understand how people perceive Christianity and maybe some of the worldview challenges that they have that sometimes prevent them from hearing the message. Also, it can help us understand the words that we use that are confusing to these other languages and other people groups. So I hope you find this chatbot and the many others that we provided helpful.
Don, thank you again for coming to the Teach Every Nation campus. We had leaders here from South Africa, from India, and you shared your passion on how to use this new technology for the purposes of God, to reach the lost, to engage with them. Great tools to tell the story of the Bible, to be apologetic, to understand Scripture and communicate it better. What a great inspiration you were to people. You took some of the fear away, some of the anxiety, but you also showed some real ethical issues. We've been on this journey now with computers since you and I were teenagers. And
First TRS-80.
TRS-80 Model 3
Could you imagine
Radio Shack.
TRS-80 doing when we're playing around with a cassette tape that we're writing code, recording it to a cassette tape, hitting play, and it changed the color of the screen, and we got so excited. And now
it's just amazing, and it was for games and shortcuts and all kinds of things. The professor at the MIT school that did the AI course introduction for you at the IMB and for us at Teach Every Nation, we invited him one day back, and he said, I asked him, what does AI compare to other things that happen in history? And he said, you take the invention of the wheel, fire, the printing press, fax machines, email, GPS, you put it all together, AI is bigger than all of that put together. Now, I think it's an overstatement, but obviously it's massive what's happening.
I think that we do not comprehend. I think we comprehend this much of the impact that AI will have on our lives and on civilization as a whole over our lifetime. I have always said that I compare it to the Gutenberg printing press because it was a completely disruptive innovation that changed history. It was a pre-Gutenberg. You can think about pre-Gutenberg and post-Gutenberg. And so I don't know about all those other things. I've never really thought about it like that. I can say that most of the people that I talk to, and myself included, most of the time that I'm thinking about AI, I'm not really able to comprehend the things that are coming in the next 18 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. If you were to ask me, what will AI, and I get asked this all the time, what's going to be the next big AI breakthrough? Well, I think 2 years ago, we were all shocked when they made the Pope wearing the puffy white jacket, and everybody was like, wow, look what you can do. Now we can make images that look great, perfect almost. And I said last year that 2025 would be the year of video. I think video will become much more mature. And I think that's happened. I still think we've got a ways to go. I think it looks tremendous. And I think most of us look at it and we can't imagine it being better.
And I think what's happening is, I think the engineers have written all the code, but the code, what now is happening is there's billions of dollars in these AI centers.
Oh, yeah.
So that the 6-second generative AI can give you 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have 1% of the power that's going to be unleashed with the supercomputers and the chips and everything. So it's going to be astounding. And I'm thinking of Rick Warren. He had a thing about waves. You know, this wave is going to hit you if you like it or not.
That's right.
The best thing you and I can do is find a surfboard and ride the wave.
Yes.
Don't fret it. Don't think you can avoid it. Understand it's hitting certain industries already in ways that it's unimaginable. And for the church and for missions, take this wave, ask God to give you a surfboard, and let's ride this thing out to the glory of God.
I love it.